So, okay, let me see it right. Okay, while the silhouette is open, let me open the file that I have the pictures on. Okay. Okay. Let me take this way. Open this. Okay, that's not the picture we needed to work with. Yeah, we're gonna work with Ice Cube's picture. Okay, Ice Cube Ronaldo's picture. So let's use Ice Cube's picture. Okay, now this is how I drag it in. I pick it up and then drag it into the silhouette. That's the easiest way that I use in doing it. So it's actually on the silhouette now. So now I want to make it big, bold enough. Okay. Now this is it. This is it on the silhouette. Now the first thing I need you guys to know, I know this will be your first time seeing me do a portrait on silhouette. Now, the first thing you need to know, take note of this. Images that you're going to be working on are supposed to be in vectors. The images are supposed to be in vectors because one, silhouette will not convert the original picture to your taste that you can convert into rhinestone. So you need a picture to be converted to a vector. That's one. Then two, the pictures you're going to be converting, it's very important that the pictures are very sharp, one, clear, and then bold enough for silhouette to convert for you. That's that. Then secondly, there are some quick things you need to be doing on your system. Like for instance, you want to you want to you want to move your object or your stones. You need your shift key on your keypad. That's one. You need your Control Z as for your undo. Then your Control D for duplicating the stones or multiplying the stones. That one is aside. Then the last one I'm going to talk about now before we start to trace. When you look at your right side of your silhouette, right from the top, you will see this panel setup. Then you have the special tools, which is the second one. The third one, you have the pick scan panel. The fourth is the fill panel. The fifth is the line style panel. Then the sixth is the trace panel, which is the one you actually needed to trace the image. But then when you go down, you will see the effects panel. Then the next one is the text style panel that you select when you want to do a text. Okay, then below the text panel, you have the font creation panel. That one you can use it to create a text on your own for yourself. Then the next one, you have the transformation panel, which is the one you need for editing your pictures. Okay, so we have these two, transformation panel and then the tracing panel. Take note of those two. We need them for this. Then at the last part, almost the last part, you see your rhinestone panel on the last part. So at the moment, I'm using Business Edition, though I have a Designer's Edition Plus, but it's on the other system, on the other laptop. But I always like using this Business Edition because I can use it to send files to other softwares. So that's why I'm using the Business Edition. So now let's go to the work of the day, tracing the picture of Ice Cube. Now, I go to my tracing. You know where it is now. It's on my right side, the trace panel. Click on it. Now, on the trace panel, I have my trace by trace. Then this one that is showing like a pin is saying trace by color. Then the next one that has a magnetic sign is a magnet trace. So it's either I use my trace or I trace by color. But sometimes I do trace by area, and then sometimes I do trace by color. So let's try the trace by color by clicking on the trace by color, then move a little bit down. You will see the trace by color and select your trace by color. Then go to your trace. Now, I'm going to trace this by white. Click on the white part. Now, you notice it's only selected, it's only showing yellow on some parts, just some parts. It's not showing on every part. Okay, so what you need to do, you go to your, on the trace panel, you go to your all areas. Click on the all areas. Now, you notice that every part that is showing white has become yellow. Now, if I zoom close to it, I notice the yellow is not completely tracing the white part. So what do? I go to my tolerance, which is this. You can see the tolerance. Now, tolerance is actually on 2.0. So I can increase it by clicking the arrow on top to make sure it selects every trace of the white so that I won't see the white at all again. So you click on it until you are satisfied with the trace itself. If you cannot see any trace of the white, that means you're good. I think this 30.0 is okay because I can't see any trace of the white. So I go down to see if there's any. No. So the trace is smooth and perfect. So the next thing I do, I go down on the trace panel and select my trace. You can see the trace. You can see the trace where my mouse is. So I can now click on it and then it will trace. Okay. Now, so we'll wait for it to finish tracing. Once it's done tracing, the yellow part will go off. Now, the yellow part has gone off, and then we have the trace line on it inside already, which is the red outline, which is this. Let me zoom out so that you can see it, which is this. You can see it. Now, as usual, I always want to change the outline from this red to a different color, because it's not that I can't work with this, I can work with it, but I always want to see it better when it's in a different color. So what do? I go to my left side on top. You can see where my mouse is, this one that is showing the red square. I click on it to change the outline to any color I wish to be, but this time let me pick on a royal blue. I just click on the royal blue. Okay, click on it. Now I have this. Now, I have traced it already. So the next thing I do, I go to my rhinestone panel. The rhinestone panel, click on it. Now, on my rhinestone panel, I have this as the non-conversion. Then the next one is the edges. When you click it, if I click it now, it's just the edges that the stones are going to be on. You can see stones are on all the edges. It's not inside. So we are not using that. We are not using that. But then we have the next one, which is the linear fill. Now, if I click on the linear fill now, you will see the changes. Now, I clicked on it. Let's wait for it. Now, you can see the changes. It's now filling inside and left those parts that is black to be white. You can see it. This is it. Then once I go to my next one, which is the radar, once I click it, there's a change that will come up. So when you look at it now, let's wait for it. Let's wait for it. Now you can see the change. Sometimes either of the linear or the radar work perfectly with certain pictures, different pictures, depending on the picture you're putting on. Now, it's not that I cannot work with this radar, but it's going to be a little bit difficult because it's going to take my time. So the best one to use for this particular picture now is the linear. I go back to the linear. You can see how neat the linear is. You can see how neat it is. And then when you look at the stone size, at the bottom of this rhinestone panel, you can see that the stones are about 5,082 pieces of stone that is inside. Now, there's something I did not do when I was doing it. Now, let me zoom in and get close to the stones itself. Now, I want you to take note of the space in between these two, the space in between the stones. I mean, the spaces in between the stones. Now, the default on the rhinestone panel, the spacing is 0.039. Now, if I change the default to a lower one, just take note of these spaces in between as I click enter. Immediately I type the 0.025, I click enter, you will see the change. Did you notice the change? The space is now reduced. Now the default is always 0.39. If you create that template, and when you produce it on fabric, the stones will not be sparkling the way you want it to sparkle. The only time it will sparkle is when it's far away from the light. But now that you reduced it, it can sparkle at any little distance between the light and the stones. So at this particular time, this particular spacing is better. Is better off. Now the stones, the number of stones now has increased to 6,044 pieces. Now let me zoom out. Now this is the picture. This is the converted stone. So now, since I have 6,000 stones, it's going to give me a problem if my laptop is filled up with so many files that it will now be dragging my system, because stones conversion are always heavy. They are always heavy. So what I need to do now is to delete some parts of the stone to make it go lesser than 5,000. To make it go lesser than 5,000. But before I do that, I need to release the stone. If I don't release the stone, there's no way I can delete or edit my pictures. Now, let me release the stone by clicking on the release at the bottom. So we're going to wait for some time because the number of stones are much. Sometimes some faces can give you up close to about 10,000 pieces of stones. So that will take time for it to release. And then when it done releasing, you must delete the stones that you don't want. You don't want, so that you can actually reduce it and make it faster. Okay. So now let's wait for this. This is just 6,000. So let's wait for it. It's going to take a little time, but it's worth waiting for, because we need to work on this portrait so that you understand it better, and you cannot always do it on your own whenever you want to do something. But by the way, like I said, after this tutorial, I wouldn't mind you guys sending me your pictures, the one I can work with as my gift to you, to create a portrait for you, your personal portrait. So I can create it for you. But then I'm still going to send the replay of the video to you, so that you can also work on your own. So, and when you have time for questions, you can always pause me, ask me the question, and I answer. If there's any need for me to go online to do a Zoom meeting for you, to do a correction with you, or to go back and show you what to do, I will let you know. So we're still waiting for it to finish converting. So I want to be sure if it's converting. So yes, it is. You can see it's rolling. So we have to wait a little. So while we're waiting, I hope you're jotting things down, and I believe you're hearing me. Okay, I believe you're hearing me. So you can see I will have to click on wait, because the stones are heavy. So let's wait. Let's wait for it. Let's wait. So as soon as it's done, we can continue. Now you notice that I have the original picture beside it. I will need it. I will need it for the editing. Now, for your level, because you're just starting, you need that picture that you converted from. You need it to help you do your editing. But with time, when you keep doing it like that, at a particular time, you won't need it again. You'll be on your own by editing, because you have it on your head already, and you can work on it without the picture. All you need to do is just look at the picture and then see where you're making your mistake. Okay. So that's why the picture is still there. So I'm waiting for it to finish for it to finish releasing the group stones. So let's still wait. I hope you're hearing what I'm saying. Okay. So let's wait a little, because the stones are too much. That's why it's taking time. If it's stones that are about 3,000, 4,000, good. It's done. So I'm done releasing it. So before I release it, now I need to do something. I need to change it to to see what Rhinestone has actually given you. I want to change the background to a black, so that we can see what the Rhinestone is. Now we can't see it, but we can't see it clearly. So that means I need to give it a color to fill in colors. That's why I'm going to go to my right side, my left side, and click the other side of the select fill in colors, which is on this one. Click on it, the colors will come. Now let me take white. Take white. So let's wait for it. Let's wait for it, because the stones are heavy. It's dragging the system. So we'll wait for it. Okay, you can see it. So that means we need to take up some stones. We need to take up some stones when we can see it. But I'll show you how to go about that. I'll show you how to go about that. So let's wait for it to change the color. Okay, fine. Now you can see it. Now I'm going to click outside, because the stones are still selected. I'll click out. Click out. Good. Now I'm done clicking out. You can see it. Yeah. Silhouette gave you almost exactly what you wanted. To some people, they want to produce this like this. But to me, I don't want to produce it like this because it's not neatly done. Now, if you notice it, the nose, the dark side of the nose is not on the converted stones. Now, when you look at it, yeah, yes, it looks like him, but then the nose and some other parts from the cap and to the ears are not really working, are not giving the exact vibe. Okay, so now first thing you need to do, because of the stones that are too much, we need to delete some parts. So let me zoom in so that you can see how I'm going to delete what I don't need. Now I'm going to zoom in. Now I just zoomed in. Now take note, the last one on the edge, the last one on the edge here, the last one on the edge here, don't delete it. Now you can always delete any one from that part to this part. So let's delete that. Now let me, while I'm deleting it, I'll go back to my rhinestone panel to see how many stones we have there. Now it's going down 5,704. Now I still don't need some parts. So what do? I will select from this side up to this point, then delete. Now I just deleted that. So it's reducing 5,421. Now I'm going to delete from here. Okay, you hope you're seeing what I'm doing. Deleting that so that the stones can reduce drastically. Good. Now, the same thing happens. Delete that too. Good. I have 4,000 stones already. Now let me go to the top. Let me go to the top and do the same. Now, I'm not going to delete the one at the edge, at the edge, at the top edge. I'm not deleting those ones, but I'm going to start from here up to this point, then delete that. Now I'm going to do that again. Undo, Control Z is undo. Control Z, do undo, because I don't want this part to go off from it. I need it. So I just did undo now. So I hope it comes back. I hope it's come back. It's going to come back. So let's wait for it. Just take time. Take your time. It's going to come back. So let's wait for it. Let's wait a little. Okay, it's back. So I'll start again so that I won't cut off that part again. Now take it from there to this point. Good. Now delete. Fine. This is what I actually needed. Now I'm going to delete this part. So I have 4,000 stones. I'm going to do the same here. And I know you'll be asking me questions why these are still there and this one, and even the one at the bottom. Let me zoom out. So we can actually work with this now. We can actually work with this. Now let me move this aside because I'm going to select the stones again. Now, the reason why I left this original picture there, because that's what will guide us on the editing for a start. For somebody like you that is just starting. For me, I've grown beyond this part. I can edit it without putting this behind it, okay? Without putting the original picture behind the converted stone. But for you, you can do that to help you edit perfectly. So now, before we start editing and before we can put this behind, we need to select all the stones together, select it, and then group. Your grouping is on top of it, which is these two boxes. These two boxes is for grouping, or if you don't want to use that, you can always do your Control G. Control G to group, Control G. When you group it, Let's group it and see. Now let's wait for it to finish grouping. Let's wait for it to finish grouping. Okay. Still booting. So let's wait for it to finish booting. Okay. It's almost there. It's almost there. Almost. Almost there. But we still have the 4,047 pieces of stones. So we'll still have more to take away from it. So, but then let's still work on this one and leave the ones we are taking out. Leave the ones we are taking out for now. Let's wait for it.
Minus and that consistent contagion. Operate is a double-edged sword. Then I can bring it and that push it.
I don't know why it's taking time now for grouping. Let's still wait for it. Let's wait for it. I hope you're learning something, and I hope you're jotting down that. Yeah, fine, it's good. Now it's done grouping. It's done grouping. Now I need to get this behind the converted image. So now remember in the beginning I told you your shift key is very important in this. So at this moment, you hold down your shift key, then click on the original picture, and then let's go to our transformation panel. Click on the transformation panel. Now on your transformation panel, you have two parts. You have the align and then the spacing. Now with this, now we need align. We need to get this to meet with this. That means we are taking from the left side to the right side. And this is the arrow from the right side, from the left to the right. Now this is the align right. If I click on the align right, the picture moves behind it. The picture will move behind it. Now, what do I do next? It's not perfectly placed yet. So what do I do next? I go to my, look at it, center. Click on the center. Click on it. Now, it's perfectly placed on the center. Now, this transformation panel is also on top of the Silhouette Studio. You can see it here. The align, this is the align. This is the center. This particular one is this is when you are grouping, and then this is when you are ungrouping. Okay. Now that is centralized. Now I can click out. Okay, don't worry. We'll come back in the next minute. That as soon as this minute is, we have 10 minutes for this part. Once the video is done converting, we'll come back online again. In the next, maybe it won't take more than 10 minutes to come back. So I pray you should be there before it finish converting the video. So let's go on. So let's go on to what we are doing. Now I'm going to zoom in. Now, zoom in. If I zoom in now, this will make me see what I need to do. So sometimes I can start with the eye, sometimes I start with any part. So I click on the stones. You remember the stones has been grouped. So I need to release the stone. Now I'm going to go up here to ungroup selected shape. I'm going to ungroup it this time. Ungroup again. Okay. So let's wait for it to finish ungrouping. Let's wait for it to finish ungrouping. Okay. Let's wait a little to ungroup. Okay, it's done ungrouping. Now I'm going to click on the original picture inside. I'm not clicking on the stone. So I click inside to release the blocks. So now look at this. This on the nose. So it's too close. What do I need to do? I select. Now I want to select multiple stones here. That means I will have to need the help of my shift. I will hold down my shift key, hold it down, and be selecting them one by one. Selecting them one by one. Now, I know somebody will be asking, why am I holding my shift key to select multiple? Now, if I click out and I select without holding my shift down, it's just that I'm selecting them. Once I select another one, is selecting the next one. So the reason is that your shift key being held down, it gives you that opportunity to select multiple stones at the same time, like this. So now that I've selected it, I can move. Now, your arrow key is also important whenever you're editing. Arrow key is on your keyboard. On your keyboard, you have the arrow going to your left side and then the arrow going to your right side. Then you also have the arrow going up and the arrow coming down. So this time, since we need this to go to the left, I will hold down my shift key so that I can move click on the arrow key going to the left like this. You can see the movement. It actually moved like that. Okay. Now it has shown me the space there. Now let's try the other side. The other side. Now this other side, we do the same thing. Shift key down. Now I'm selecting multiple. Shift key down. Select, 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 select. Now we're actually looking at this to create that space where the face is actually showing the black part, the shade. So we don't want the shade to be covered. That will give us the perfect editing for the face. Okay, so we're done with that. Now any other one that is touching, now let's start with let's go on with the eyes. I'm going to zoom in. Now the eyes, we notice that the white part, some of the white part has no stones. We can actually add stones to it. So now select that and then use your arrow key going down to move it down to align it. Align that. Now the same thing, arrow key going up to align that. Now I need an extra stone, but before I add another extra stone, I need this to come down so that it can fall in place. Fine. Even this is actually on the dark shade. I don't want it to be on the dark shade. Good. So I need one or two stones. So what do? I add Control D. Now Control D, I duplicated, or I use the duplicating panel on top, or I come here and click on this to use the replicating panel, which we have your duplicating, roll, fill up, fill page, and so on and so forth. So since I have already done that, let me go back to the transformation panel, because transformation panel is what helps you to edit better. So holding my shift down, because I want to select multiple from here, select this. Now I'm going to go to my transformation panel and use my spacing tools. Now horizontal, I'm going to click on the horizontal because I need it to go horizontal like this. Now you can see it actually is moved. It moves. So this can actually go up now and cover that part. Now I'm going to select again. Select to the last one at the end so that I can be okay with this spacing. Good. So the spacing are now balanced. Now this one can go up like that. This can actually come down. Don't worry if the two stones are touching, it's not going to affect you. It's not affecting you. So now I need to select to you can see the spacing here, spacing here, spacing here. It's not the same spacing at the other side. So I need to hold down my shift key, select them because I'm selecting multiple, selecting multiple, selecting multiple, selecting multiple. Okay, then do my horizontal spacing. Good. So it's equal now. So I can zoom out a little. Now notice that this white line still need a particular stone. So what do? I duplicate one more and add it, move it there, and then bring it down to follow the shape of that eyes. Now, this part of it is partially touching the dark shade. So I move it backward. Good. Now that I moved it backward, we can later do alignment for these ones. Okay, that will be later. Now this can come down a little, and this goes up a little. That's forming the white part of the pupils. Now this can go up, then I do select multiple and then align it with my horizontal. Okay, then retain it like that. That's that. So I zoom out because I want to go to the next one. But if this thing goes off now, you still have to hang on. I will come back on immediately. The video has been converted to video for me to send to you later. So that will be the first part. So the second part will come that will now complete every other thing. So let's be working while it's still counting. Now on this part, we notice that this is also not arranged. What do? With your arrow key, move it up. Good. Now this is also there. With your arrow key, move it up. Now you have extra. You can manually take this and add it here. Okay. Then this can actually come down. This can come down as well. Now you can now do your selection, multiple selection by holding down your shift key. Select to this particular one. Then do your alignment to form the arc or the curve on the face there. So this comes down a little, and this too can come down a little. Okay. Now you have this, the eyes. Now that goes up. Now manually you can pick this one and drop it up here. So multiple selection with this and this. This time you're not doing horizontal, you're doing vertical because you're going down.